Preparing to live stream. Preparing to live stream. Okay, so sorry, so we're going live. I have to X out of. Okay, we are live on YouTube. So I'm just going to start it again at 6:34. We'll call. We have a quorum. We did the roll call. We have a quorum. There are 11 members present. And I'm going to pull up the PowerPoint to share my screen. So give me a moment to do that. Now, the $6 million question. Can you see the PowerPoint?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Excellent. Okay, so all the technical challenges are behind me. The agenda, we did the roll call. Jim, do you want, is it okay if I do this? I mean, or do you want?
That's
Okay,
fine.
all right. I mean, I don't want to, yeah, that's what we've done it the past couple of times. I think until we get back into live meetings, it's probably easier to do it this way until we get, live meetings again. So, any changes or additions to the agenda, the approval of the minutes? We've got a couple of things to report on, go over some training opportunities, and then we'll do the referrals. Anybody? The minutes were circulated. I don't know if anybody had a chance to take a look at them. If there are any comments or concerns with last month's meeting minutes. Well, if there's a motion to approve. And just again, if I could ask, just identify yourself if you make a motion, because I have the PowerPoint in front of me, so I'm pretty good with the voices at this point, but if you could just identify yourself when you make a motion and second it, I'd appreciate it.
Mitch
Okay,
Nickel,
it's
make
Jen.
a
I
motion.
would,
Go ahead, Jen.
I was going to make a motion to approve. That's all, the minutes.
Okay.
But yeah.
All right.
I'll
Second.
second that emotion. I'll second that notion.
Second that emotion.
Yeah,
You sing it for us?
that's Carl.
Yes. Yeah, I know. Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstain or recuse? No. Okay. Just a couple of things to report. Let's see. There's not much. I did want to just revisit the issue of training. I didn't hear really from anybody whether we need, usually in the spring, May or June, we host a training with the Department of State and the Columbia County Planning Department in person. I mean, we didn't have it in person last year. There are plenty of webinars out there, in my opinion, to choose from. We could set something up specific, with the Department of State, if anybody has any specific issues they feel would be good for them to be trained on, whether, I know short-term rentals again are a very big issue out on the mountaintop right now. We did that last June, but we certainly could do it again. Things are changing and moving all the time. Whether there's any specific comp plan type of stuff, anybody who's working on any comp plans or potentially working on a comp plan. So there's a list of trainings on the DOS site, which I had circulated. I don't know what the feeling is. I can just work with DOS and pick a couple of topics and we could set something up, or you guys can give me some feedback of, what's going on with you locally in your municipalities that might be helpful. You guys are closer to the ground on, what's going on locally. We could do solar again, or whatever.
I know here in Durham, everyone's pretty interested in zoning because there's a lot of new people coming up here, and they aren't too sure about the developments that are coming up. But at the same time, the planning board is very anti-zoning. So I'm hearing a lot of on the street where people want to know what we can do to stop developments. And at the same time, other people are very not into stopping developments. Another subject is farmers markets. We've been talking a lot about setting up a farmers market. I thought it'd be really interesting for other towns in the county to maybe consider that as well.
Well, I know the DOS offers specific zoning type of trainings. I'm not sure if they have anything specific to planning for farmers markets other than being part
I
of.
know like Cornell does stuff like that, but I don't know if
Right.
DOS does.
Yeah, I mean, we could look certainly outside of Department of State we just want to make sure in terms of the credits that it's got some kind of planning focus to it. All right, those are great. I mean, zoning is, I think that's an issue in some other communities as well. I think Wyndham in redoing their comprehensive plan is grappling with that same issue, whether to have zoning or not. So I can certainly talk to DOS about that, or look into the farmers market. Anybody else have anything that on the
Well, this is Jen, and in Lexington, our two big issues right now are short-term rentals, because we're trying to get some kind of amendment to our zoning to take care of those, and the comprehensive plan. We're looking at revising that, and we've been working on it a little bit. So those, you hit the nail on the head for us when you started out with that. So,
right.
I mean, we do have a farmer's market that we created with a small committee, and we just went in and started doing it, so.
Right.
And it's been very successful, but I mean, we'd be open to anybody wanting to talk to our folks about how that happened. But it was really a ground up thing, but the town was supportive of it, so.
Right, the planning elements that come up is what, whether it's how you're going to cite it, I guess, and it's going to need any kind of site plan. It usually doesn't, need any kind of site plan. You might need some permitting locally, but it depends on the extent of the farmers market. But
right, it's under a pre-existing pavilion area, so that kind of worked.
Right. All right. Well,
One other thing, Rich.
yes.
Although it might not be as sexy as short-term rentals, I've always found that what might be lacking in a lot of these trainings is an emphasis on process. Like I know we do like the seeker review thing, which to me has always been kind of a little Greek with seeker. But process by, how does an application get to a planning board and then go from a planning board to a 239 requirement, and all of the machinations and roles that zoning boards and planning boards and town boards or village boards play in the process.
Right. Yeah, I think some of that. I mean, I do think they have something like that. It's just like a planning zoning 101 almost. But I'd have to check, and I could talk. Maybe we could craft something specifically. I don't know if they have something that goes through the whole process, but I think that's a good idea, and we certainly look into that. So we have a lot, a number of good ideas here. I think maybe the one on zoning can kind of be wrapped into that. That some towns are grappling with. All right, well, we got plenty to work with here now. That's great. Maybe we'll plan a few webinars with them. They're planning and zoning, short-term rentals, and comprehensive planning. I mean, they have trainings on each of those. And
I will add to that. The things you sent out, Rich, about the different trainings that's available. We have a new planning board member, and there really is some good stuff out there. And I find those references, that just for somebody who's starting out, introduction to the planning board, some of the things that you've sent out have been really valuable to getting her up to speed. There's a lot of good stuff already out there, webinars, and they have those little quizzes, and you can get your training pretty well. So I just want to make sure everybody's aware of that for your new folks, because it's good.
Yeah,
I think
even just today, I got, I guess the word gets out there. Occasionally we'll get emails. Today I got an email from somebody, I think, Caro Planning Board, asked to be put on the list, the distribution list. So if you have any planning board members, I did the same thing with Ashland. Once Eric left, I got the planning board members emails for Ashland to make sure they're getting the training info. So if you have people that are on your planning boards that want to be on that distribution list, I'm happy to distribute to, far and wide to anybody that, wants to get those. Sometimes I feel like I'm sending too many, but if I'm sending too many, just let me know. But I try to get those out, and there's a fair amount of them right now. I mean, they're all online, but there's a fair number to choose from. Unfortunately, the New York Planning Federation, I don't know if any municipalities are members of that, but unfortunately they have some good webinars, but you have to be a member, which costs, I think like $300 a year or something to be a member of the New York Planning Federation. So
the one thing you sent out, Rich, having to do with, I think it was New York State, it had introduction to the planning board or conducting meetings, different ones that were really user friendly, and they make it very easy to understand and get the certification pretty quickly. But I think that was New York State, right?
Yeah, probably. Sound like DOS. I mean, which there's some of those you can do on your own time. They have them on. They have them. Some of them have questionnaires at the end that you can actually then get a certificate. Some do not. I mean, I'm fine.
Yes, those are the ones I was talking about, because they're very easy for people to do, and they're good. They're very clear, and you take a little quiz, and to see what you know, and then you take the quiz again, and then you get your certificate, and it tells you how long it's going to take you. And I found them. I didn't realize they were out there until you sent out all of these things recently, and then I found it and sent it to her, and she got everything done pretty easily. So good.
Yeah, I mean, to that point as well. I mean, I think it's important. We're 3 months into the new year now for to get that 4 hours of training done. I try not to be too much of a pain about for folks to make sure with all these opportunities that you do get that 4 hours done technically to be on either a county or municipal plan. I mean, it can be overlap if you're on both boards. You don't have to do 8 hours. You can do 4 hours and you get credit. And some of these things like the Schoharie Watershed Summit that's coming up. I mean, you have to basically check with your own town boards to see if, I mean, that's the way it works. The Department of State or whoever runs these don't usually, they'll give you a certificate, but then you really have to be approved by your local board to actually get credit. But, all right, well, I have a lot to work with here. So, and if there's any other ideas, just let me know, email me, whatever. If anybody else has anything that they would like to see. I mean, like I said, we just did short-term rentals last June, but it's really changed a lot, I think. So I don't know. I'll have to see how much DOS's presentation has changed if they've updated. So,
you like some corned beef?
Corned beef? Oh, I'll have some corned beef. All right. And just speaking of the Lexington, the short-term rental, we got, oh man, there was a short-term rental. I think it was Lexington. We did get a short-term rental referral. I thought it was Lexington. You just mentioned, Jen, that you were.
Yeah, we just, I didn't do it, but Tal Rappelier, our town attorney, may have submitted it to you. It's going to be a while. We just had a public hearing on it.
Yeah, but
It's a change to our zoning officially. I mean, it's a proposed regulation
well,
on
that's
short-term.
that's kind of
So
a
I
question
think,
because I thought it was a freestanding law, and there's a technicality. If it's a freestanding law, it's not reviewable by the county planning board. If you're
Yeah.
amending your zoning or laws to incorporate short-term rentals into your zoning laws, then it's reviewable by the county planning board. I told Tal, I mean, it didn't seem, that if it's I didn't put it on the agenda because it appeared to me it was a freestanding law. The county planning board doesn't.
okay, well, it is being presented as a freestanding law. That's how it's being addressed, but technically there is something in our zoning that already covers this kind of facility in a way. And this is just to make it easier because we've never enforced it, so.
But it's not amending that part of the zoning law.
It's not being inserted into the zoning law itself,
Right.
No.
Right. So, and that's why I sent it back to him saying,
Okay,
you don't review it.
That's-
And
okay, good.
if it does in any way change the zoning law, you probably need to send it back. If for whatever reason, as this progresses, that you decide you have to change the zoning law to make it consistent or whatever with this freestanding law, based on what you just mentioned, then it should come back to the county. So.
I think we probably will have to do that to avoid confusion at some point. But then we would actually be changing our zoning law. Our zoning law is from 2005. So we would probably have to go in and fix it to go along with this. And then that could go under review, right? That's what it sounds like to me.
Yes. If in any way.
Okay.
Yes, if it amends the zoning law. Like I said, at this point, my understanding from what I got from Tal was that it was just a freestanding law. There was no changes being made to the zoning law. So.
Okay. All right.
Okay. All right. So that's any other business items we need to talk about? No. Okay. Well, we just talked about trainings. I mean, I'll just look. I email all these around. I just like to put them in the presentation and have them as part of the record for the meeting. When you have the presentation, so you have all these trainings in one place. A lot of different things, and again, benefit of the webinars, you can take tips for regulating telecommunications facilities that's being offered by the Southern Tier. It's not local. Their planning conference. They're all doing online now instead of live. So there's those advantages to taking some of the things. A lot of them, again, Southern Tier. The Livingston County Planning Board is doing an introduction to planning and zoning in April. Might be a good one for us to do as well. But again, you can take advantage of these without them being offered by us. Stormwater. So a lot of different trainings. So I try to get these out there. I put them all together here, but then when I send them out, I try to send them out individually so it doesn't get too crazy. And this is the Watershed Summit coming up, which I feel if you were to take any of these, they'd be applicable for the county planning board, particularly the May 1st one is very specific to planning, Saturday, May 1st. But I think any of them, if you were to take any of them, they would be credit for your training for the county planning board. Even if your municipality is not in the Schoharie watershed. With the passage of the money starting to flow from the state again, which we haven't had any grant money come. So there's a couple of grant opportunities, Hudson River Estuary Program grants. If you're in the Schoharie watershed, unfortunately, you cannot access these grants, but the majority of Greene County municipalities can. So there are opportunities to do some. A lot of money is for planning, shoreline planning, resiliency planning, making your wastewater treatment plants more resilient, natural resource inventories, open space planning. So if any of those things are on your radar, there's grants of up to 50. These are up to $50,000 grants. There's a 15% match that you have to come up with, and they are due on June 2nd. So the links are there. Greenway has some planning and trail grants available. Most of the municipalities in Greene County are part of the Greenway. If you're not, I would urge you to consider. I know some any municipality in Greene County. Actually, that's not true. If you're in the Catskill Park, there's a few municipalities that are not eligible to become part of the Greenway right now. If you're actually in the Catskill Park, but they have some money available. There's 3 grant deadlines there for any kind of trail planning. So there's money available there. And let's see. Is that it on the grants? Yeah, I think that's it on the grants. All right, the referrals. I have the recommendation memo I had sent around. First one is from the town of Catskill. It is being referred to us because it's basically right on the border. It's right. It's a lot that is right on the border of Catskill and Athens. So that is why it is being referred to us. It is just to build a front porch on a 2-family dwelling. So it really it needs an area variance. I think it's a front yard variance of 8 feet. There's 8 feet. There's a 50-yard setback from the roadway, and their front porch is going to be 42 feet from the roadway. So it's an 8-yard front yard variance. So really no county impact. So the recommendation was no county or intermunicipal impact, local decision. So that is the recommendation. I don't know if there's any questions or on that.
Mitch Smith will make a motion to local decision.
All right.
I'll second that.
Was that
Kylie.
Okay, sorry. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Anybody need to abstain or recuse themselves? No. Okay. The next one is for a solar facility. It's a community solar facility in New Baltimore. Usually most community solar facilities we're seeing around about 2 megawatts, but this is 6.4 megawatt. Right on if a 9W, it requires site plan and a special use permit based on local law. It is zoned rural, residential, and commercial, 2 different parcels. I felt like the information they submitted, even based on here's the site map, just so get a general idea where it is. It's a little north. 144 is to the south here. It's kind of right in between 144 and New Baltimore Avenue. So it's a little north of New Baltimore Town Hall. It's down here to the southwest. It's these 2 parcels off of 9W. There's the ortho image. It's basically just open forested land. This is kind of the part of what they would consider the site plan that they sent of the layout on the 2 parcels for the 6.4 megawatt project. As you can see in the staff memo, their own consultants had said that the site plan was incomplete, and they sent it to us as incomplete. There's a number of missing elements to the site plan, and so I felt that it was. So I'm looking for the staff memo myself. I don't know where that was. There it is. So I felt like there's just a lot of information missing that was required to be as part of their own site plan law that should have been submitted with it, and then should have been sent as part of the referral. So my recommendation was to I went ahead was to it said that it was just, there's also a draft stormwater pollution prevention plan that was required to be submitted that wasn't sent in as part of the referral. So I felt like I couldn't really take a a good look at it based on the information I was given. So my recommendation is to send it back as incomplete and ask for more information.
So do you need a motion to put
Well,
this off?
Yeah, unless there's any kind of discussion or concern or, this, so that's, unless you want to make a motion.
Yeah, this is Cindy. I'd make a motion that this is put off until the additional information has been submitted for review.
Okay. Anyone want to second that?
Should
I'll
we,
second it.
should we add what needs to be included?
Yeah, that is in the, it's not as, it is in that, it is in the memo. If you look, if you have that memo in front of you, there are a list
Okay.
of items there. And again, I took them directly from the town's consultant that, Crawford, who identified, I added in the SWIP, the stormwater pollution prevention plan, which I felt should have, I would like to even see more. I'd like to see the decommissioning plan, the visual assessment, everything. I think that is kind of, that are the pertinent issues to some of these facilities that I think in order or to understand fully what the impacts are, as opposed to just, kind of giving a rubber stamp. So that's my thought on that. So, all right. So there's a motion made by Cindy to, unless you, did you see the memo, Gene, as to, or is that?
I did. I guess I
Okay.
did because I did read it. I just didn't
Okay.
remember.
Okay. All right. All right. So the motion to, by Cindy, seconded by Jim, all in favor to, the motion is to, refer, send it back as incomplete and ask for additional information.
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstain or recuse? All right, motion carried. The 2114, it's a, I don't know, it was a year ago or so, there was a C&D proposal, construction and debris, construction and demolition debris facility proposed for the waterfront of Athens. And Athens put a temporary moratorium on any industrial uses in the village. Now they are proposing to amend their zoning of their waterfront district to basically take out industrial uses. That they, which is part of their updated comprehensive plan as well. It also will make their zoning law consistent with their comprehensive plan, which identifies that they don't want industrial uses along their waterfront.
I'll make a motion to approve this.
Okay, that was Carl. Any second?
I'll second it.
That was Kylie.
Yes.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstain or recuse?
I
Did
may
somebody?
be opposed to that. So,
You gonna be okay?
so I'm gonna list myself as opposition.
I didn't fully. So you want me to put you down as a
I'm opposed,
a
yeah.
no vote?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So that's as far as I can tell, a 10-1. So the motion would still carry, right? I just want to make sure no one else has shown up on the call. Lee McGonigal or Thomas Polker, Beth Hansen. I'm putting all these numbers down of. I just want to make sure. All right. That there's still 11 people on the call. Or whatever we call this Zoom meeting. All right. So that motion would still carry 10-1. Did I get that right? There was 10 in favor, 1 opposed.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. All right. This was, they submitted them kind of backwards, in my opinion, but this is basically an amendment to repeal to the zoning, to repeal the moratorium that they had in place. They had a moratorium in place to prohibit industrial uses, and now they're just repealing that moratorium.
Mitch will make a motion to approve that.
Okay.
Cindy will second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstain? Any recuse? Okay. Motion carries 11. It's referral from the town of Hunter. This is for an expansion of a storage station right on 23A, which is why it's coming to us. It's on a state road. It's a site plan review. It's also within 500 feet of the boundary of Tannersville and adjacent to some state land. So there's kind of 3 boxes it checked. It is, like I said, a site plan review. Let's see. This is the site where it is on 23A. Sorry, that might be a little hard to see, but right across the street is basically the Hunter town facility, town garage. So if you're familiar with that neck of the woods, you find the parcel immediately to the south of this is the state land. Never sure how these things are going to show up. This is the ortho image. Again, there's the town garage on the to the north. This is the site where they want to expand the storage facility. This grass, this treed area down the bottom of the screen to the south is state land. There's just an image of what they're called relocatable storage facilities. These that they plan to add, how many? 22, I believe. I'm sorry, let me go back. Oh yeah, it's 22. It's 25 existing storage units. They're proposing to add 22 more that are 10 by 20, 10 by 20, and 20 10 by 10 storage units. That is the facility. There's the.
So where are the 25
Here's-
that are there?
There you go. I was trying to find my next slide. And that kind of shows. You'll see where the 25 are. You'll see the 25. The new ones are in
I see. Okay.
red, purplish. You can see. Again, to the north here is where the town garage is. To the south is where state land. I don't see any particular county impacts. I understand there are potentially some issues of because it's next to state land and it's in the watershed that, the DEP is got some concern about runoff to the adjacent state land, but I didn't see any real county impact, frankly. So of adding these 22 storage units. So it's not going to create. There may be some minor. They're going to have. They're not going to do any road work. They're going to probably need a state highway permit. I may add a little bit of traffic, people coming in and out, more storage units, but I don't see any real significant issues. So my recommendation is that local decision.
Can I make a motion to pass for a local decision?
There's Kylie.
Yes.
Okay. Do we have
I'll
a,
second it, Jen.
okay. All in favor of that motion?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstain? Any recuse? Okay. And we have one more. It is for a motorcycle repair shop on Route 32 in the town of Catskill. It's along the Route 32 right away. There's a reason it comes to us. It's about a 13-acre undeveloped parcel. It's owned highway commercial and rural agriculture. I'm sorry, residential agriculture. This is the site on 32. It's outlined in blue there. Again, a 13-acre parcel that is relatively undeveloped.
I know, buddy. We're going in a minute.
Not any real county issues. They do identify this in their EAF that they did. It does have about 1.7 acres of federal wetlands right in the center of the site. They do depict, hopefully I put a site map on here. Where's the site map? They do depict that. So it's hard to read these numbers, but it's it's a 50 by 100 metal unit with 11 parking spaces to do motorcycle repair. It is within 500, it's about like 240 feet or so from this wetland area. The septic system putting in is like a little over 100 feet. So it's, and they identify that, the wetlands are there. Obviously, they put them on the site plan as is required by the site plan law. My only concern was that, they should, need to do the due diligence to make sure that those mapped wetlands are not technically mapped. So they might have to do some wetland delineation just in case. And that's my concern, is just that they do the due diligence, but it's not really a county responsibility. It's up to the town of Catskill to make sure that they put that and the applicant to do their due diligence to make sure that the development is done in accordance with the wetland laws. So. Yeah, so that would be my, it's also in which this whole area is.
This is Deb. I have a question.
Okay.
I have a question.
If you're speaking, I'm not hearing you.
Can you hear me?
I cannot hear you. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Um,
This is Eva. Okay, I just had a. Ooh, wish I could chat.
yeah, I was going to say
All right.
maybe the better option would be to chat your question. I mean, although I just lost my screen. How did I do that?
I have a question. Is this in a residential area?
There's a, it's not really, you can see
Okay.
from the map
That's my
there.
only concern is I grew up near here in Scary Turnpike with Rev Valkenburg, and I used to have a motorcycle repair shop. There were motorcycles coming in every day, 24 hours a day. I just want to make sure, I'm not against it. I want to make sure the neighbors are okay with it.
Right.
That's all. That's my only comment. 'Cause it's so loud too.
I mean, I didn't see anything that, regulated the time at all. I mean,
Yeah.
make a recommendation that, there's certain hours that, you're open from 7 a.m. till 9 p.m. And so you don't have motorcycles coming in and out at midnight or something,
Yeah. I just want to make sure the neighbors are okay with it. That's fine. That's
Yeah,
fine.
I mean, I don't know, because there's not really, there are some residents, a couple residents across the street. There's really no, otherwise it's fairly open.
Yeah. And they probably all have motorcycles, and that's fine.
Yeah, so that'll be a welcome addition to the neighborhood. I mean, I can add that to the comments if you want, to just,
There's. I just want to make sure the neighbors are okay with it.
Right.
I guess.
I said, do you want me to,
Rich, did you get my comment?
Is it the oil contamination? Was that your question?
No,
Oh,
do they
containment.
have any plans for basically self-cleaning and containment of oil and carbons?
I didn't see that in the information I got. Certainly it could be a comment. I assume that, if they're doing it, I don't know what kind of licensing is required for shops to handle oil. I imagine they have to register with the state in order to handle those type of things. I mean, we could put that in the comments as well. There was nothing in the application that addressed how they were gonna, manage any kind of oil waste or gasoline or anything, like any kind of waste that might come from the work on the bikes, on the motorcycles. Would you want?
I am 99% sure that every garage has to be licensed with oil and fuel containment.
Well, yeah, that's, I mean, I was just making that assumption that they're gonna have to get all, the state permits and that kind of thing to make sure that they're doing everything on the up and up.
Right. In
So-
addition to which, they would have to present their systems as part of their code review. So it would have to conform to New York State requirements,
Yeah,
without a doubt.
it has to go according to New York State DOT
Right.
vehicle registration requirements.
Is-
I'm just concerned about the noise. That's all. But
Yeah.
if the two neighbors are happy, I have no problem.
Right. Well, I mean, okay, so I mean, those 2 points, if again, if you want me to actually put them into the comments back to the town of Catskill about making sure that the neighbors are okay with it and that there's, that noise isn't going to become a problem in the neighborhood, and that, that all required DOT permits
Easy,
will be
Go lay
acquired.
down. Come on.
Okay. And I'll do, do we want me to add both of those things or,
Yes.
okay. Okay. So that's then in addition to the comments that are on there, I will add that, the town should assure that,
Yeah, it's fine with your neighbors.
that
They're not gonna do something and then 2 years down the road, we're gonna complain from the neighbors. That's all.
okay. Okay.
Drink a little bit.
So, so with those 2 additions to the comments that were already written out, does anybody want to make a motion or any more comments or concerns about it? Again, this is,
Mitch will make a motion for for approval with comments,
okay. And with those comments that were added in this discussion?
with the additional comments. Yes.
Right, okay.
I'll second that.
And that was Bruce?
Yes, it was.
Okay, well. And
I was unmuted.
all in favor?
Aye.
All right.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Any recusals? Okay. So that is all the referrals. That is all the business I have. I don't know if there's any other things. If not, everybody's favorite motion. Motion to adjourn.
Have corned beef.
That was corned beef. Corned beef makes the motion to adjourn. Anybody second the corned beef motion?
I'll second it.
There we go.
All right, all in favor? All
Aye.
Aye.
All right, next meeting is the 3rd Wednesday. I don't know when we're going to change back. I have a feeling perhaps sometime soon, but for now, we'll just anticipate we'll still be Zooming next month. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank
for your
you.
time.
Thank you.
Have a
Thank
great night.
you.
Bye-bye.